Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country, and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning. Please be seated. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. So, yes, Clerk, thank you.
Thank you. Correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 29th of June, 2021.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, the 29th of June, 2021 is before us for corrections and approval. Can any honorable member please move that the said record of votes and proceedings be considered and approved? Yes, Lower Fuladu, is it? Yeah. Yes, Lower Fuladu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise to move that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 29 June 2021 be corrected and approved.
Thank you. Yes, second, Lower Badibu.
Thank you, Ma. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, the 29th of June, 2021 be approved. Any issues or observations from honorable members, starting with the cover page on, yes. Anything on the cover page? Otherwise, we move over to page 1. Page 1. No, okay, page 2 then. Page 2. I hope everybody is correctly captured.
Madam Speaker, page 1.
So, yeah.
Page 1.
Page 1.
Yes.
I had asked for the front page even.
Laying of papers and reports. Yes, the study tour report and the 100 million report were not laid. So was it necessary for it to be mentioned on the record?
Correcting what was on the order paper. Yes. If my memory serves me right, it was on the other paper, but because we were doing the consideration stage of the, what do you call, our friends, the disability bill, we decided to prioritize that. But this is what we had on the other paper. I was not here myself, but I think that is what transpired. Thank you. So we're in order. Thank you. Please, can you? Page 2, give it. Sorry. Page 3. Yes, Sanement.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member for Nyamina East was present and he is captured in the absentees.
Sami, page 3.
Yeah, page 3, thank you.
I hope you are taking the corrections because table office is not
Page
here.
3. If my memory can serve me, those who were absent, I think you were here on that day, the speaker. Huh? She was not here.
Can I get the corrections, please? Honorable Member for Sami? Corrections.
Huh? No, what I was trying to say is that I thought that the speaker was here on that day.
I came earlier.
Yes.
I came earlier, but of course I had to, sorry, I had to leave when we started the consideration stage of the disability bill. Yes, I left afterwards, but I was definitely here. Thank you. Thank you. Any more corrections on page 3? Page 4. Yes, Woolly East.
Yes, page 4. The first sentence, I just want to highlight that. They always say into committee of the whole house. When it comes to question put, that is after the second paragraph, question put, that clause 2, the 2 is in capital, the T is capital, it should just be small. And then under that, under inclusion, rights and constitutional matters, the spelling of constitutional matters, the spelling of constitutional is not proper. And then when you come to where you have F, albinism, introduced to mean, they put 2 means there. You either say to mean, then you say congenital, or you say to mean, then it will flow. And then the last line should refer to everything, where they say report of committee, the report of the committee. The D should always be there. Wherever it might be, put D there. Thank you.
So issue with the spelling of constitutional before matters.
The T is not the
E
is CONSLILU instead of STI.
Maybe I need to be put through because I still cannot see it. But anyway, I'll get it from the table office. Thank you. If we're talking about page 4, is it page 4? Are you referring to page 4? Probably I have a different copy. It's possible. Proceed. Anything else on page 4? Then page 5? Yes, Woolly East.
page 14, the second line, where they say the Gambia Federation of Persons with Disabilities. Their name is the Gambia Federation of the Disabled, GFD. That's their name, not persons with disabilities. Thank you.
Yes, on 5, I did ask actually. I think we need to be more focused. Page 6. Cannot be going backwards and forwards. Yes, Honorable, page 6. Go ahead. Thank you.
Page 6, 24. Where they say question put that clause 31 stands part of the bill without amendments. We just put without amendments since it is without. Don't put S on amendment.
Any more corrections on page 6? Yeah, Jara East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, at 56 minutes after 3 o'clock, it should be 4 minutes to. Thank you.
Referring to page 7. Page 6.
So, at 56 minutes after 3 o'clock, I think we say 4 minutes to. It's past and to. Thank you.
Page 7. Yes, Woolley is.
7, this will be last time I correct that. Serakunda, the way they spell Serakunda, capital K in the middle. I think it's one word.
Page 6, any more? Sorry, 7. 7. Yes, Jara East.
Still with time, at 39 minutes after 5 o'clock. It's past and to. Thank you.
Seven, still on page 7. Page 8. Page 8, yes, back out.
Page 8, where you have a question put that this assembly do agreed instead agreed. He put D. It's okay.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
When the question was put, is that what you are referring to? Bakau, I'm referring to you.
Yes, I'm told by honorable member for Kian Central that it's okay, so it's fine with me.
Yes, Woolley West.
Page 7, 28. 28, and the word carrier is not correct. The word carrier itself is not correct. It's C-A-R-E-E-R. C-A-R-E-E-R. But it's not here, it's correct. It's not corrected here. They are just keeping it as it is. I'm saying 28. The word carrier is not correct. C-A-R-E-E-R. Yeah.
I can see it. And also Sanimentering on page 7. Is that correct? The spelling of Sanimentering on the motion to sit beyond 6 o'clock? Is it N-I?
Yes.
It's N-I. Ah, okay.
Sanimentary.
Okay. Well, that's fine then.
Now, there's a point of order. Just to remind my colleagues about clause 26.2. It's a reminder for clause 26.2 for members to rise while addressing the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder. Thank you. Page 8. Page 9. Yes, who is?
Page 9, 45, second line, where you say which exists, it should be exists. Have you seen it? It's E-X-I-T-S, it should be E-X-I-S-T. You've seen it? Okay, Jara. Spelling again.
10 then. Page 10. Yes, Honorable Member for Basse.
Page 10. Madam Speaker, the last paragraph, if I can remember, 52, the Assembly removed that the clause is 28.7. It's not 27, it's 28, clause 28, subclause 7.
Yes,
That was moved and replaced under clause 70.
that's the right thing. You are right. Thank you very much.
Well, I did not get it, but I assume that the table office would have captured your corrections. (52). Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Any more on page 10? No? Sorry, can we? Telephones, please, not whilst plenary is on. Please, can we put our phones on silence? Thank you.
Page 10.
Page 11.
Page 10.
Oh,
10. Willie East. 51. I think it's 51. The minister may, upon the recommendation of the advisory council, and may, in consultation with the advisory council, make regulations. That double "and," honorable member, see, Willie East. I think I don't think there is any need for the second "and." We should cancel the. You are engaging this man. I'm correcting something.
are you addressing Woolly West and Basse or the chair? Okay, then we can proceed. We are done with 11. Any more corrections? Yes. Jara East.
Page 10. Page 10. All other recommendations of the report of the committee were adopted of the committee. Thank you.
Are we done with the corrections? We're satisfied? Thank you. Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, the 29th of June, 2021 be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Clerk, we may proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laying of papers and reports. Report of the Public Appointment Standing Committee on the confirmation of the nomination of Mr. Abdoulaye Conte as member of the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution by the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kombo South.
Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kombo South. Yes, Kombo South.
Honorable Speaker.
Just a second, there's some observation or...
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, I submitted an explanatory memorandum and preliminary statement of the chairperson of the Public Enterprises Committee on the operations of the committee, understanding Order 50. And I have not seen it in the order paper.
You will recall, if you look at it, that the Standing Orders Clause 50 talks about the ABC meeting, but the ABC hasn't met yet. That's the reason why. We just got it. Thank you. But probably we still have a day or two. We'll have a look at it and see whether it's in line with the standing orders.
Observation.
Sorry.
Observation, please. Observation. But the ABC met today.
Yes, the ABC met today, but it was not on the ABC agenda. I don't fix agenda, sorry. It was not on the agenda, yes. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I want to observe, please. Yes, I think the honorable member for Serekunda, his proposal, he stood here last time and complained about these things, and then you promised him that yes, the next following day, the foreign business that will be part of it, and it's still not here. And we feel that this is very important. We deem it very
Your
important.
observation is noted. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, yeah, we know that it's noted, but at least action needs to be done about it.
As chair of a committee, the agenda came up, but it was not on the agenda. Our attention has been drawn to, we'll take it up with the office of the clerk. Period. Thank you.
But all what I'm trying to say, this is not the first time
Honorable, can we
on
proceed,
this
please?
issue.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to read the report of the Public Appointments Standing Committee on the confirmation of the nomination of Abdoulaye Conte as member for the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution. Honorable Speaker, the committee met on the 24th of June 2021 to discuss the confirmation of Mr. Abdoulaye Conte. The National Assembly Standing Committee on Public Appointments met to consider the confirmation of the nomination of Colonel Abdoulaye Conte as member of the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution, which states that there shall be an Armed Forces Council which shall consist of 2 other persons appointed by the President, subject to the confirmation by the National Assembly. It could be recalled that the motion tabled by the Honorable Minister for Defense and Security was later referred to the Public Appointments Committee for further scrutiny and to report back to plenary in accordance with Standing Order 117.2. The subsequent nomination of Colonel Abdoulaye Conte is a replacement to the nomination of Ndaunjai that was earlier rejected by the plenary. Subsequently, the Assembly is now required to confirm the nomination of Colonel Abdoulaye Conte in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution. The methodology used in reviewing his nomination. The committee gave due consideration to Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution, while scrutinizing the confirmation of the nomination of Abdoulaye Conte.
Yes, I want to, it's an observation. I think the chair is reporting and then Abdoulaye Conte as colonel. It should be retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdoulaye Conte. Not a serving member.
Noted, table clerk office will do the amendments accordingly. Thank you. Having considered the nomination of retired Colonel Abdoulaye Conte as member of the National Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution, the committee resolved and proposed that the National Assembly do confirm retired Colonel Abdoulaye Conte as member of the Gambia Armed Forces Council.
Are you done? Or you are done? Okay. I thought we were receiving some observations or points of order. Any seconder? Yes, honorable member for Banjul South. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to second the motion on the report of the Public Appointment Standing Committee on the confirmation of the nomination of Abdoulaye Conte as a member of the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution. Thank you.
Very much. It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the report of the Public Appointments Standing Committee on the confirmation of the nomination of retired Colonel Abdoulaye Conte as a member of the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Now, please, you have to assist. Any honorable member who wishes to take part in the debate may do so now by raising his or her constituency tag. And honorable, they all have, everybody has a right. We cannot stop them. They have a right. Please, let's exercise decorum. Any honorable member who wishes to take part in the debate may do so now by raising the constituency tags. Now, honorable member, I recognize honorable member for Birkama North, and then Serekunda and Wuli East.
Thank you very much.
Ilyas, thank you.
I rise to support the report of the committee. As I rise to support the report of the committee, but would like to make the following correction, which I feel is deemed necessary, that the nomination of Colonel Ndaunjai, retired, was earlier rejected by the plenary. I think the committee actually raised concerns surrounding the credentials presented for Colonel Ndaunjai, retired, and based on that, the committee resolved to request for those credentials to be available.
but not necessarily we entirely rejected his nomination. I think by virtue to the way Colonel Dauja decided to withdraw, then there the replacement is based on the fact that Colonel Dauja withdrew his nomination. On that note, I want to also support it.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Yes, okay, thank you. Same consideration, observation there. And just on the report, just a little thing, where they say the nomination of, I think they want to say Ndaunjai, but what they put there is now. Yeah. So can you look at that and just check that? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The comments made anchor what I wanted to call for a remedy in the statement itself. That is the designation of the person whose nomination was challenged and eventually decided to withdraw. So how do we call him? Is it Ndaunjai? Is it retired colonel? So the proper designation should be there. If we look at the issue of methodology, we will see the position that while scrutinizing the confirmation of the nomination, I think it's scrutinizing the nomination for confirmation. That is, the scrutiny is about the nomination made by the President in order to determine whether confirmation should be made. And at the end, the conclusion that the committee resolved and proposed. The word proposed is not appropriate. I believe that the committee resolved to propose that, and I believe that will be a better presentation. Honorable Speaker, the committee did not actually tell us what they scrutinized. It appears that it is left to the Assembly to look at the elements presented to us. I have with me credentials submitted to the clerk regarding the person who is nominated. I'm not sure whether the committee did look into these credentials and indicated its confirmation of what was presented, which is what is essential in terms of scrutiny. I would assume that what we have with us is what the committee had to be able to come to the decision of proposing for us to confirm the nomination. Honorable Speaker, if we look at section 189, we'll see the essence of the Armed Forces Council. It has advisory, consultative, and regulatory functions. And whoever Section 189(2) indicates that the Council shall advise the President on all matters of policy relating to budgeting and finance, administration, and any other matter. We're looking at what was given to us. The person nominated, who is retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdoulaye Conte, we are told that led him to be Army training school, to be at the Army training school as the head. That is Farafenya camp in 1988. So one would anticipate that somebody who has some element of training and experience in operations to the level of heading a school would have the competence of giving advice regarding a strategy, regarding defense. We are also informed that the role of the council under section 189 subsection 3 will include regulations. They'll be making regulations which include regulations in respect of the control and administration of the armed forces, the ranks of the officers and men and women of each service, the members in each rank, and the use of uniforms by the members, the condition of service, enrollment, pay, positions, pensions, gratuities, and other allowances of officers and men and women, and deductions therefore. The authority and powers of command of officers, of men and women, the powers of commanding officers to try members of armed forces, the establishment of research and development units in each service. So essentially, looking at the qualification in terms of having been the head of a training school, and we are told that the person had gone through training all the way at Sandhurst in order to become a commissioned officer and was commissioned as second lieutenant in 1986. We are also informed of the work experiences and the different trainings, so one may say that the person who may have had the opportunity to command platoons would really know the ranks of in the armed forces and what should actually be done to give adequate advice. So in that regard, the last responsibility that appears is a consultative one in the appointment of certain important heads of the army. It says under section 190, the President shall, after consulting the National Security Council, approve the Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces, the Armed Forces Chief of Staff, the commanders of the Army and Navy and the Air Force. So it means that whoever is to be a member of the Armed Forces Council must have the capacity to advise the President in that regard in filling of such important responsibilities. Looking at the credentials of the person nominated, retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdoulaye Conte, one would say that the committee has judiciously given us the recommendation that I endorse, and in that regard, I take my seat.
Just by way of information, I think one of the main issues why the previous nominee was rejected was because there was no provision, or they did not provide the certificates. There were no documents to prove. And when eventually the second nominee came in, I think documents were provided to support his nomination, and I think the committee did a thorough scrutiny of it. Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Ilyasa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Although I have a few observations on his curriculum visit, because if you go to civil education, I wonder how did he manage to go to Nusa High School? Because his primary school education was not mentioned in his report. And then secondly, he already spent only about 3 years at Nusa High School. That's my observation. If you can give for the clarification. All the human resources in the high school. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I'll have you on the list. Thank you. Honorable Member for Jara East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor. I rise to support the report of the Public Appointment Standing Committee on the confirmation of the nomination of Colonel Retired Abdoulaye Conde as member of the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution. Honorable Speaker, I think the committee has done a good job, and I want to thank them for a job well done. Honorable Speaker, when you go to the report, where it is mentioned, it could be recalled that the motion tabled by the Honorable Minister for Defense and Security, I think the correct title is Minister for Defense, not Defense and Security. Are we together? Yes. Yes. Okay, Honorable Speaker, after having said that, I have no qualms with the appointment of retired Colonel Abdoulaye Conde. He's a veteran, and I think the appointment will serve its purpose. And I want to thank the committee for a job well done. Honorable Speaker, not every Tom, Dick, and Harry is drafted into such councils. You must have what it takes for you to be factored into the equation. And I think retired Colonel Abdoulaye Conde has got what it takes to be in this council. Without much ado, I want to thank the committee for a job well done. Thank you.
Yes, nominated member. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor to add my voice to the previous speakers. Madam Speaker, first of all, I must congratulate the committee, appointment committee, for properly scrutinizing the documents that is before us here, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the nominee is not something who is new in this society. Madam Speaker, here is a nominee who served up to the rank of a colonel and retired. And thereafter, he was appointed then as the chairman or the mayor of KMC. What he has done in KMC since he left, no other chairman as up till now has done more than what he has done during his tenure in that place. Madam Speaker, I would call this man a very decent nominee. I know him. I worked with him when he was the chairman of the KMC. Madam Speaker, the first example is Serekunda Market. First, he's the one who established what he has done, the work that he has done there. When he was coming, Serekunda Market is nothing, just like a rubbish. We all know. Every second, that's always a disaster. But when he came as a chairman of the KMC, Madam Speaker, how he rehabilitated that place. Up till now, there's nothing more than they can do. He has laid a very good foundation for that market. And the complex also, it is only now, but up to throughout his tenure when he left, how he organized the complex of the KMC itself. When he was coming, he put those new structures there, which cannot be compared to the First Republic. He has made tremendous. And other places, other markets, outlets, you go to Marsengalau and so many other surrounding villages of Serekunda, the council he established, you go to Bakau. So you cannot name all what he has done. So definitely I congratulate him together with the good effort of the committee, what they have done. This is what we expect from a good citizen. As I said, on the nomination of the former retired Colonel Ndao Ndiaye, who withdrew his nomination. Madam Speaker, these two people have done a great job for this country, both in the First Republic and the Second Republic, Madam Speaker. So I have nothing more to say more than to thank them, to thank him. May God help him in this new office that is going on. And in fact, this thing is even in delay, Madam Speaker. I think here I will add one or two words. The committee, as the moment when the committees has to be very, because you see there are a lot of backlogs in the hand of the committees. When such things come, this is how many months or almost a year is with the appointment committee. Madam Speaker, I think the committees, appointed committees and other committees should always make sure that when the matters are referred to them, they should, that's why they are committees. They should make sure that they go through this and then bring it back. But you have committees, matters that are referred to the committees, almost 1 year, they are not brought back for confirmations. And Madam Speaker, I'm saying this, I'm a member of the transitional government, or this transitional government, as a stakeholder. We want a success, Madam Speaker. We want a success. A lot of backlog are back there. Up till now, I don't think 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, just still a recommendation or refer to the committees are still on. Please, the committees or wherever it is packed, you are not fair with the transitional government. You are not fair because the success is whatever matter goes to go there is to come here, we confirm before the head. Lot of delays of committees, Madam Speaker. And you are the Speaker. Madam Speaker, please, Madam Speaker,
please,
thank you.
Yeah, let's stick to Honorable Member for Olyundum. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just have a few words to say, not an observation, but also to add my voice on the report of the Public Appointments Committee on the confirmation of retired Colonel Abdullahi Conte to be part of the council. Honorable Speaker, I don't know the man in question, but having gone through the credentials that is given to us from Mr. Conte, I've said a lot about the man, and we've been told that he served in the army, and he also lead in the Cardiff Municipal Council. During his time, I think he has done a lot of tremendous job to uplift the face of Cardiff municipality to a state that every Gambian would want to see the municipality in. And I think his nomination to be part of this council as well, all that we wanted to do is to shed some light, perhaps to say Mr. Conte will no doubt serve the interests of the council when his nomination is confirmed. And I think that is also going to help the military to have this council, and these people will also serve the interests of the council to an extent that the military will be independent to work for the best interests of the Gambians. I have gone through his credentials, and it has, spoken volume that no other person is fit for this position except him. And I think this National Assembly will waste no time but to unanimously agree and then support the nomination of Mr. Conte to serve in this council, Honorable Speaker. On that few notes, I wish to take my seat and then thank the Public Appointment Committee for their good job.
Thank you very much. Banjul South, you still want the floor? Any more interventions? Yes, Banjul North.
Well, I just wanted for the records that they are still referring to Abdullah Conte as retired colonel. It is retired lieutenant colonel. For the records, retired lieutenant colonel. For the appointment, he is someone who has served in the armed forces. They were part of the initial core of the armed forces. And I believe that he has experience and what the functions require as a member of the Armed Forces Council is to be guiding the armed forces in terms of what is provided for in section 189 and 90 of the Constitution. So we expect that, given his experience serving in the army, having gone to overseas engagements, having gone through some of the training abroad, military training abroad, it is believed that with that experience, he would be able to discharge the responsibilities and expectations in being a member of the Armed Forces Council. On that note, I also want to support the nomination. Thank you very much.
Honorable, you began by telling us the correct title. Honorable Member for Banjul North, can you repeat the correct title according to you? So
yes, going by the letter of appointment from the Permanent Secretary, signed by Lieutenant Colonel Omar B. Bojang, it states that retired Colonel Mamadou Ndaw Njai, that's the correct name, retired Colonel Mamadou Ndaw Njai, and also retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdullah Conte. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdullah Conte, for the records.
Decision of the Assembly is, at the end of the day, before we confirm our records, we will make sure that we contact the Ministry of Defense to give us the correct title. Thank you very much. Yes, I know, but still, I mean, there are references here and there, just to be on the safe side, so that we will all be on the same footing. Thank you very much. Any more observations, honorable members? Any more interventions? No? Okay. Thank you very much. Then, may I now call on the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kombo South, in case he has any issues to respond to.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the members who have contributed and the commendation that they made to the committee, and the few observations and remarks made by the members who spoke. I think the observation made from Brikama North was that the credentials that were supported, that were handed over to us, was one of the reasons why we reviewed and agreed that this is the right man for the position that has been forwarded to us, and to also not to fall ourselves into the past mistake that we did when we are doing the first selection. So that one was also very looked into. So maybe it was an oversight not to mention that we thoroughly went through the credentials that were sublisted. The Honorable Member for Serekunda also, Jara Wuli is the full name of Jaunja, which is also noted, and I think the table office will also take care of that. And also the retired Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel Jaunja, which is also been echoed by the member for Banjul North. I think the presentations made by the member for Serekunda is the designation of the nominee, which has to be properly done, and then it's very important. And looking through the credentials that were supported, and also he went further to make references to section 189 of the Constitution, 1997 Constitution, and also section 190. If you look at the qualification and the work experience of the nominee, he has covered all the grounds and then will be a better person to be able to function well and inform and advise the president accordingly. I think the committee also looked at the credentials, because as I said, it's also very important. That's what they need. The member for Ilyasa wants to know whether he went to primary school. As far as I know, as a former teacher, I don't think you can go to a senior secondary school or secondary school without completing your primary school. You know, as in the 1960s and 70s, people who are overgrown, you only spend 2 years in primary school and you are promoted to another grade. So that may have happened. So, but as far as I know, you cannot go to a senior secondary school without completing your primary school. And I think that's something that we need to. Honorable Majanko, also nominated member, also talked about the work that he had done over the span of his career as a full-time member of the armed forces. And then finally when he was at KMC, which has been the core of development, and that has happened in that municipality and where it is being built up. And I think one thing that he also said, his commitment and sincerity to the development process of this country. And these are the kind of people that we also need. All Yundum also talked about the job well done, and I think this is very good. And as I said, the committee insisted that we have all the documents ready before we come to this assembly. And also the point that was read by the nominated member. Committees want to take their time to do the work. So we don't want to rush and then come back and send things over. So that's why for this particular nominee, we want to make sure that we have everything right. And that's why it was delayed, and now that we are here and you all have agreed that we have done a good job. So I think other committees also want to follow that. And also with the new recruitments, I think our clerks and research units are doing a very good job. So they are making the work of the committees very easy, and from henceforth, the works will continue to do. Banjul North is still concerned with the designation, and the title that is given has to refer to the letter that was sent from the Ministry of Defense, where we need to have the correct title when we are dealing with these things. And then he also looked at the experiences and also some of the fundamentals and some of the things that he had done, and all those are issues that were highlighted. And I think on that note, I want to thank the honorable members for having the trust in the committee and giving us the encouragement to continue on the good work that we are doing. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you very much. May I now put the question on the report. Be it resolved that this Honorable Assembly do adopt the report of the Public Appointments Standing Committee on the confirmation of the nomination of retired Lieutenant Colonel Abdoulaye Conte as member of the Armed Forces Council in accordance with Section 189, subsection 1G of the 1997 Constitution. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. Thank you very much, honorable members. Thank you. Clerk, we may proceed.
Thank you. Laying of papers and reports continues. Report of the Public Appointments Standing Committee on the appointment of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Ms. Mary Samba as members of the Judiciary Service Commission pursuant to Section 145, subsection 1, D and E, and Section 145, subsection 2 of the 1997 Constitution by the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Combo South.
Honorable Member, you should table your report.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of to lay the report of the Public Appointment Standing Committee on the appointment of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Ms. Mary Samba as members of the Judicial Service Commission pursuant to Section 145(1)(d) E, and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. The committee met on the 24th of June last month, and then that's the report I am submitting on behalf of the committee. The National Assembly Standing Committee on Public Appointments met to consider the confirmation of the nomination of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Ms. Mary Samba as members of the Judicial Service Commission pursuant to Section 145(1)(d)(e) and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. It could be recalled that the motion tabled by the Attorney General and Minister for Justice was later referred to the Public Appointments Committee for further scrutiny and to report back to plenary in accordance with Standing Orders 1172. Mr. Suleiman Samba's nomination by the President is in pursuant to Section 145(1)(e) and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution, whilst Ms. Mary Samba's nomination by the Honorable Attorney General and the Gambia Bar Association is also mandated by Section 145(1)(d) and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution. The methodology used when we reviewing the credentials and also the nomination of the two. Further, the committee gave due consideration to the relevant provisions of the 1997 Constitution with regards to the nomination of the said persons, and both were also found to be people of high caliber and professionals in their own rights. Having considered the nominations based on the above, the committee resolved and proposed that this August Assembly do confirm the nomination of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Ms. Mary Samba as members of the Judicial Service Commission pursuant to 145(1)(d)(e) and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia, in accordance with Clause 1112 of the Standing Orders. The committee hereby submit the confirmation. The committee hereby submit the confirmation of the nomination of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Ms. Mary Samba as members of the Judicial Service Commission pursuant to Section 145(1)(d)(e) and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. Any seconder, honorable members? Yes. Fonyi Bintang Karanlai.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Madam Speaker, I will equally thank the committee for doing a good job and making the work easy for the Assembly. But Madam Speaker, I have some observations because this Suleiman Samba, when you go to his credentials, sometimes you see Suleiman B. Samba, Suleiman P. Samba, Suleiman Q. Samba, so I don't know. Is it the same Suleiman Samba or you have 3 or 4 different Suleiman Samba? When you go to the credentials, you see there is no consistency in these credentials. And even go to this Mary also, you'll see Mary, you'll see Mary Abla Samba also in his credentials. So I don't know whether we are taking off different people or the same people. So this is my observation, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the report of the Public Appointments Standing Committee on the appointment of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Mrs. Mary Samba as members of the Judicial Service Commission pursuant to Section 145(1)(d)(e) and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So, honorable members who wish to take part may do so now. Please raise your tags so that we'll take the list and allow honorable members to make their interventions. Yes, honorable member for Banjul North. And thank you. You also have Jara East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also would acknowledge the work of the committee in considering these nominations that we are giving to them for scrutiny and to report back to the plenary. This is also a statutory body, the Judicial Service Commission, which has a key role to play in the dispensation of justice in the country. It is as stipulated in section 146 and 147. It's important to highlight the other functions of the Commission as provided for by section 147 of the Constitution, which states other functions of the Commission. In addition to the other functions conferred on the Judicial Service Commission by the Constitution, the Commission shall have power A, to advise the President in the exercise of their powers relating to the appointment of judges, to make recommendations as to the terms and conditions of service of judges and other judicial officers and staff of the courts, to make proposals to improve the administration and efficiency of the courts, to prepare and implement programs for the education of the public about the administration of justice, and to exercise such other functions as may be conferred on it by an act of the National Assembly. So you can see it has a critical role to play in ensuring that there is rule of law and justice prevailing at all times, because they are responsible in the appointment of judicial officers, starting from judges coming down. They have the responsibility also informing the public about the functions of the justice system in this country. As for the appointments, it is provided for that two of the appointees have to be confirmed by the National Assembly. One of them is the nominee of the Gambia Bar Association, and the other the nominee of the President. And those are the two officials or personalities whose appointment we are to confirm as National Assembly. As for Mary Samba, the appointment is, according to the Constitution, is by the President upon consultation with the Gambia Bar Association. So I believe that, of course, it's provided for that it has to come here. But I don't want to believe that the Bar Association would recommend someone to serve in this capacity who cannot live up to expectation. Nonetheless, it has to be subjected to scrutiny. And going by the profile of the person, you can see that she has a long period of practice in the Gambia. And that, of course, notwithstanding the academic qualifications, I want to believe that she has what it takes as far as the expectations are concerned. As for Mr. Samba Suleiman, he too has a long career in the civil service. He has served up to retirement and has assumed various functions in the civil service as well as the diplomatic service. So I want to believe that he's coming with a wealth of experience to be able to help this statutory and critical body in the discharge of its functions. The judicial system in this country, as I indicated earlier, has a fundamental role to play in the maintenance of law and order, in the dispensation of justice, and we need people who have that high sense of justice, who have capacity to ensure that the courts function as expected in accordance with the law, the Constitution, and that at the end of the day, society is satisfied that justice is not only done by the courts, but is seen to be done by the courts. So I want to implore, if this National Assembly finally confirms, which I would want to urge my colleagues to confirm these two nominations, that they will discharge their responsibility in ensuring that the backlog of cases in the courts, the delay that litigants experience in the courts are addressed. As we have been told that the courts have some human resource challenges. You don't have adequate officials to serve, particularly in the bench, and even at the level of Attorney General's chambers, that those that are expected to be manning positions in the public sector are being attracted by the private sector because there is more pay there, more pay there, let me put it that way. So we are expecting that these two, when they are confirmed, would really help in ensuring that mechanisms are put in place, systems are put in place to ensure that the bench attracts Gambians that would really address the issue of backlog of cases. So I want to finally urge my colleagues that what we expect from these two personalities, I believe, would be satisfied by them if they are confirmed. So I want to support the confirmation of the appointment of Mrs. Mary A. Samba and Suleiman S. Samba to serve in the Judicial Service Commission. Thank you very much.
Much honorable member for Jara East.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I rise to contribute my quota on the report of the Public Appointment Standing Committee on the appointment of Mr. Suleiman Samba and Ms. Mary Samba as members of the Judicial Service Commission pursuant to Section 145(1) D, E, and 145(2) of the 1997 Constitution of the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, public appointments are referred to the August Assembly for a special purpose. For a special purpose. Honorable Speaker, they are referred to the Assembly for honorable members to skim and scan thoroughly the dossiers of those who we are going to, scrutinize. Honorable Speaker, I have gone through their dossiers and they are quite impressive at face value. Honorable Speaker, if we go to Mr. Suleiman Samba. Mr. Suleiman Samba is a deeply rooted Gambian. Likewise, Madam Mary Samba. Honorable Speaker, but we are not here as an August Assembly to consider those things. because the job they are going to do is very crucial. Judicial Service Commission. Honorable Speaker, you then pick a man in the street, an ordinary person, if you like it, to be drafted in the Judicial Service Commission of a country, because it plays an important role. It serves as an umpire. So it needs someone or somebody who could be described as a man or a woman of high moral rectitude as opposed to turpitude. You have to have what it takes to be drafted in the Judicial Service Commission. That's why it's not meant for every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Honorable Speaker, you don't need a person who is deemed to be conflicted, because the role they are going to perform is very sacrosanct to the life and livelihood of Gambians. Therefore, the onus lies on us to give an eagle eye to whatever document that comes before us. And I'll start that process, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let's go to Mr. Suleiman Samba's, one of his certificates. Honorable Speaker, with your permission, the School of Advanced International Studies. Mr. Speaker, these are prestigious universities. I have seen the University of Harvard, but the name, you have Suleiman B. Samba. Now, if you turn, you come to University of Harvard, which is a prestigious university by all standards. You see, you have Suleiman S. Samba. Honorable Speaker, this raises an eyebrow. The initial, I don't know whether it's a mistake, but the names are not speaking the same language. The initial, especially the initial, Suleiman B. Samba, in turn, you have Suleiman S. Samba. So what will come to your mind, are these people the same or they are not the same? Now you turn again, you have again Economic Development Institute of World Bank. You have Suleiman S. Samba. I have problem with the initials, different initials, referring to the same person. You turn again, you have Suleiman Samba. So we have three different Suleimans with three different initials. Madam Speaker, I have no qualms with Mr. Samba's integrity, but I have qualms with the initials. Are they by design or by mistake? It could be an oversight. If you turn again, you have Suleiman S. Samba again. So now you have Suleiman B. Samba, Suleiman S. Samba, and Suleiman Samba. So which is which now? I would like clarification on that, because this is public scrutiny. It's very important. That's why we have to look at this document with utmost care. If you come to Madam Mary Samba, Honorable Speaker, the same mistake again. On the cover page, you have Mary Samba. If you turn, okay, you have Mary Abdullah Samba. Okay, you turn again, you have Mary A.B. Dule Samba. It's Abdullah. Okay, Abdullah. Okay, for Mary, that's not a big problem, maybe one mistake. But for Suleiman Samba, I don't know, maybe the mover has to help me. And before I take my seat, I want to know, Mary Samba, Suleiman Samba, what is their relationship? I'm quite inquisitive. Is it a sister and a brother? If you can just clear my curiosity. No. It's meant for the mover. I'm sure the mover will respond. I'm just quite inquisitive. It could be a coincidence, but I want clarification from the able mover. Honorable Speaker, definitely speaking, Madam Mary Samba and Mr. Suleiman Samba are a lady and a gentleman of high moral standing, and I have no doubt in their ability to steer the Judicial Service Commission. I believe fervently they are a lady and a man of sharp intellect and profound ability. Once they are drafted into this Judicial Service Commission, I believe they will do the needful. But Madam Speaker, lest we forget, Judicial Service Commission is very important. It serves as an umpire, and it also serves in terms of discipline those who have gone, against the rule of the game. So therefore, it is very important we have men and women of high moral rectitude in this Judicial Service Commission. That will help us a lot. And I believe fervently that will be the case. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Oyundum. Oyundum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am withdrawing.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The task we are given is to ensure that the Judicial Service Commission has the type of commissioners who would be able to advise the President in the exercise of his or her powers relating to the appointment of judges, to make recommendations regarding terms and conditions of service of judges, judicial officers, and staff of the courts. Honorable Speaker, the Judiciary is vested with judicial powers to ensure that there is justice in our homeland. Where judges, judicial officers, staff are inadequately capacitated or remunerated, the threat to justice becomes evident. There is no doubt that at this moment we have many lapses in our court system, and the claim is that the judicial officers and staff are not properly remunerated. The reason why there is an independent Judicial Service Commission is to ensure the independence of the judiciary, without which there can be no justice. The Constitution has made it very clear that there should be separation of powers, and judiciary should in fact not go through the executive for the consideration of its budget. That is why the Constitution provides for the judiciary to come directly to the Assembly, using just simply the ambit of the executive for its budget to be considered. There had been the problem of teachers not being recognized, leading to teachers demanding for a Teacher Service Commission. So the creation of Service Commission for institutions that are vital for the survival of the country is the way forward. And here in the Constitution itself, the separation of powers is guaranteed by the creation of the Judicial Service Commission and giving these functions to guide the whole process. The Bar Association is considered to be a key stakeholder in the process. And that is why in establishing the Judicial Service Commission, they are given some recognition. And that recognition is what we need to scrutinize today. We are told that that a legal practitioner of at least 5 years standing at the bar, Gambia Bar, nominated by the Attorney General in consultation with the Gambia Bar Association, would be a member of the Judicial Service Commission. And Ms. Mary Samba is recommended by the Attorney General after consultation with the Bar Association for us to consider her appointment by the President to be a member of the Bar Association. Clearly, when the Bar recommends, I don't know on what basis we can stand again to oppose that recommendation. So on that basis, I would say that we confirm what those who are the key stakeholders recommend. That is my position in that regard.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul South. Thank you.
I had point of clarification and I'm willing to sit. Well, I had point of clarification and I'm willing to sit if...
You see, that is why it's always good to address the chair. So if you address the chair, then I'll be in the loop, then I would ask him that, you know. But if you just raise your tag from that angle without me seeing you and rising, I may not know. But since it's an observation, because I was surprised that it just ended abruptly. Thank you, you can go ahead.
Madam, thank you. But I had the member for Chairman saying to oppose this thing. We are not here to oppose, we are here to give our opinions, our detached opinions concerning what is before us. Thank you.
I'm not sure whether the member had me right.
I think you can
Maybe
proceed.
there's another voice in the room.
I think you can just proceed, yeah.
But clearly, that is not words coming from my mouth.
I think you can proceed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So essentially, then, my position on that one is clear. The other position, we are told one person appointed by the President. And that person is Mr. Suleiman Samba. We have credentials we believe our own committee had gone through. A May being awarded a master's degree from Johns Hopkins University, and June being awarded another master's degree from Harvard University. So essentially, these are credentials submitted to the committee. One would believe that our committee has gone through to do its proper scrutiny before giving us the recommendation. The rest reveals exposure in terms of capacity building by institutions like the World Bank, institutions like the Commonwealth Secretariat. So one would believe that having gone through the School of Management Communication for Development and having also gone through the practice of managing the civil service, I have not seen that anywhere mentioned, but this is what our committee should actually do by inviting these appointees so that one will hear from them and see exactly in practice how they have utilized their knowledge to be able to serve the nation. Since we are talking about conditions of service of officers in the judiciary, anybody who serves as Secretary General will be well positioned to be able to add value to a Judicial Service Commission, especially in the area of conditions of service and remuneration of judicial officers. So in that regard, I do not have anything to the contrary that I can rely on to oppose such a nomination. So in that regard, I would support the nomination, but emphasizing that our committees scrutinize the documents before them and give us advice based on their own scrutiny. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I think in future, let's also be very careful with the names. If there appears to be any difference with regards to the initials or the names, we just confirm with the minister or the mover of the original motion so that we'll all be on the same level. Thank you. To avoid the observations raised by Honorable Member for Jara East. Yes, Honorable Member for Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as a member of the committee, I wasn't going to contribute in this debate, but I just want to bring it to the attention of this assembly through you that according to the section 1451D, it says a legal practitioner of at least 5 years standing at the Gambia Bar nominated by the Attorney General in consultation with the Gambia Bar Association. It might have been an oversight that the committee did not confirm with the Gambia Bar Association, but then again, I just called them and they said that not only did they recommend this, but Mary Samba was not the only person, but it is the Bar Association that also supported her nomination amongst the people that were submitted. So I am glad to tell this August Assembly that section 1451D had been fully submitted and worked on by the responsible mover of the motion. That was my only submission, to confirm that the Constitution was fully adhered to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Central Badibu, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Mover. The tax that we have is not a difficult tax. The two nominees, by looking at their work experience and their educational background, they are fit for the purpose. And I want to thank the President and the Bar Association by using their gender lens by nominating Mrs. Mary Samba, or Miss Mary Samba, sorry, Mary Samba. Honorable Speaker, our judiciary, with the emergence of the new government, there were a lot of reforms that took place. And this one also is in that direction, where we want to ensure that the Judiciary Service Commission deliver up to expectation. And we cannot have proper sanitization of the judiciary if the men and women who are appointed or nominated are not of sound mind, are not of balanced mind as well. Honorable Speaker, nominating these people in the Service Commission will promote the principle of rule of law, in which we expect to see impartiality, equality, and supremacy of the law. Honorable Speaker, our judiciary system should not be based, or appointments or promotions should not be based on nepotism or favoritism, but it should be based on what? Knowledge, experience, and competence. Honorable Speaker, these two people who are before us today have a great task to carry out. As the saying goes, whom much is given, much is expected from. We have been crying for too long with our judiciary system, where we have people who have been appointed or given the task to deliver justice fairly, untimely, and they did not do it. Instead, our justice system was a center for witch hunting. There was a time they were jailing each other, fighting each other. And we don't expect our judiciary to take that direction. So these two people must be politically neutral. They should not be used by anybody to push up their political agenda. So they have been nominated by the President, and Bar Association will be confirmed by the Parliament. That shows how we all participate in their appointments. So they must serve the Gambian people. We don't want to see a scenario where they think that they are put in the office by the President or serving the interests of only the President. This is the culture that we have been seeing in Africa and other countries, which we want to stop. People in the public offices must know that they are there for the people. They are the servant of the people. So here is a place where we need to advise them to work according to the Constitution, according to their modus operandi. But we cannot be always taking oath, swearing all the time. When it comes to performance of our duties, we behave otherwise, as if the swearings are not, there to, guide us. So our judiciary system, as I said, this is a step in sanitizing the judiciary to make sure that, we have a fair judiciary system in the country. But once the judiciary is not fair, once there is no serious, exercise of law, then we live in anarchy. So that's why laws are very, very important. And I believe these people will ensure that, our judiciary system, the appointment of judges, we have sound and competent judges to do their services. I thank everybody for your attention.
Thank you. Yes, honorable nominated member, Samusa.
Yes. Again, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I must first of all thank the committee for the good job that they have done. And I must thank the President for recommending Suleiman Samba, and also the Attorney General recommending the Solicitor, Mary Samba, with consultation with the Gambia Bar Association. Madam Speaker, you see, that's why I said, when we talk about change, we have change. These are part of the agenda of the Coalition 2016. That's this. These are all part of our agenda that we want to reform. And some of these, in fact, although there's a saying in English that nothing is never less than ever, but however, Madam Speaker, these things should have come long time immediately after taking over. Some of these things should be established long before, because they are all part of the reform agenda. But however, I must thank the President, Attorney General, and the Gambia Bar Association for coming up these people like this with the caliber that they have. I know Suleiman Samba, I know Mary Samba. Personally, I know them. Let somebody not think that because they are the same father or either the same mother and father. They are Sambas. It's not all Sambas are of the same family. You see, so like Samusa, Juara, you have Juara Samusa, but not all Juaras are the same family. So, Madam Speaker, just want to, before the mover come to clear that, well, I'm a Banjulian, and this thing happened to be, these people, this happened to be Banjulian.
I'm from Badibu here, we are nearer here, you see, and we are easily having access to Banjul than even those in Congo in Serekunda. So, Madam Speaker, I'm definitely delighted. I'm really happy as something part of the agenda of the Coalition 2016, the reform. And I hope these people, knowing them, so they must serve up to the rank of a Secretary General. I think nobody would tell him when it comes to the public administration or judicial administration. He has a vast knowledge, experience, and the academical standard that he has. And Mary also, when you come to a legal part of his job, she is well experienced. Imagine from 1990, 1991 up to now. It's well over 10 years, or 20 years, or more than 20 years, you know, in the, more than 20 years experience. So definitely I don't think we have any doubt, this parliament would have any doubt about their experience and their academical standard. On that note, Madam Speaker, I thank them, both the President, Attorney General, the Gambia Bar Association, for coming up with such a wonderful candidate so this August has to endorse. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to move.
You see, sometimes it's so interesting listening to the debates here. I wish I had on records when the motion for the confirmation was tabled, but I'm sure it's less than 2 months. This one was very fast, you see, and there was no comment on that. Any more observations from honorable members? Yes, Wooly West, and then I'll take Fonyi Kansala. Thank you.
It's a very simple observation, and the member for Jara East has raised it. You know, scrutiny is scrutiny. There is nobody here who is putting in question the appropriateness of the people nominated. But we have documents before our eyes. Madam, last week, I was subjected to critical scrutiny by an institution because of my identity or the way I identify myself. In my ID card, it is written Sidia Sana Jata. In my TIN, it is written Sidia S. Jata. That was questioned, and it was not accepted. They said they had to be the same. I was there for more than an hour. Now we have before our eyes Mr. Samba, Mr. S. Samba, and we have Mary Samba, Mary Abdullah Samba. So I thought the committee would have either called these people before them, or they would have employed a method of ascertaining the veracity of these documents. So we have, for me, we have an issue to address because the documents are not uniform. I was there physically, I was speaking to the person was telling me no. And these people are not before us, but we have their documents before our eyes. Mary Samba, Mary Abdullah Samba, Suleiman Samba, Suleiman B. Samba, Suleiman Samba. Yes, Suleiman S. Samba. So, I think the Assembly has a question to answer.
Honorable Member Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to share with the Assembly my position as far as this important appointment is concerned. I first want to implore on the the Public Appointments Standing Committee for easing the work of the plenary. I will not go to repeat what have been highlighted by previous speakers before me, who have actually quoted the relevant provisions as per the Constitution, and have also gone further to give their weight to the report of the committee. Honorable Speaker, I stepped out at the time the issue of the Armed Forces Council was discussed, and which a vote had been taken, and I've been part of those who supported it. What I want to say that what we're doing today, we will all agree that it's all part of promoting the democratization of a country, because these are very fundamental institutions that every country needs in trying to promote or to move towards achieving, the democratization of your nation. Honorable Speaker, when an institution is established, people are given the responsibility. The onus lies on those individuals to exercise their duties without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So if in the appointment or the nomination of a person to a position, for that individual to deliver the goods depends on that individual. So this is what we expect from all the names that the Public Appointment Standing Committee have confirmed for the Assembly to give their blessings. I think they have done a good job, and the authorities that were responsible to nominate them also have the firm belief that these are people who will deliver to expectation. So if they fail to deliver, you can't attribute that to the appointing authorities, or you cannot put the blame squarely on the National Assembly for confirming, because we are all with the conviction that they deserve the position, they have all what it takes to be awarded the position. That being said, Honorable Speaker, I want to sincerely agree with the Honorable Member for Woolly West and Jara East, that when the Honorable Minister and when the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice come before us, he should help us better understand these two individuals, which is the name to adopt, because one individual with three different initials makes it sometimes very funny for one to take a position. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to say something on the nomination of the two, and I beg to take my seat.
Honorable Member.
Mine is just an observation. I want to congratulate the committee for coming up with the nomination, scrutinizing them. But I'm just worried. I know Suleiman Samba very well. In fact, he's an in-law to me. But there are three different names here. Suleiman Samba, Suleiman S. Samba, and I know him as Suleiman B. Samba because his father's name, I know his father. So was the committee privy to call him to verify this? That's what I wanted.
Any more interventions? No? Okay. Thank you very much, honorable members. In fact, I think going by the observations raised by the honorable member for, in fact, first of all, it was raised by Jara East, Woolly West, and also buttressed by Foni Councillor. I think also Foni. And fortunately, we have the Honorable Attorney General here. Maybe he can help to shed light on it before I call on the Honorable, what is it called? Honorable Member for Kombo South. Do we agree that we allow the Attorney General? Honorable members? Yes, or those in favor? Yes, okay, good. Honorable, please. On the name, is it? The three versions, Suleiman Samba, Suleiman B. Samba, I know it's Babu Samba, Suleiman.
Most one.
There are about 5 or 6 tags. So please, are we all agreeable allowing the Honorable Attorney General? Please, Jara is, I'm not taking, can you, let me just ask the question, please. Are we all agreeable, or, let me put it the other way, it is proposed that we allow the Honorable Attorney General to clarify the issue of the difference in names as provided for in the documents submitted.
Who is proposing it? No. But, no, you say it is proposed.
Yes, want to move a motion.
From Foni Bitankaranla. You want to move a motion? Yes, please go ahead. It's because an issue has arisen.
Yes, I move a motion on the 53K. I want to move a motion on the 53K, standing order 53K. On the standing order 53K, yes, with other notice, yes, to further ask the committee to further scrutinize the credentials of this Suleiman Samba and no, yes.
Point of correction. Correction.
No, please. You see, let us not complicate issues. Really, there is no need to complicate issues. The issue raised was, the concerns with regards to the names. And I said, since the Attorney General is here, and he has a right of audience here, and he was the mover, am I right? Yes, he tabled it. So maybe it will not be out of order for us to allow him to just clarify before we call the mover. The mover will respond, of course, that is the procedure to the issues raised. But we just want to make sure that, we get it clear. Now, if I want to allow Apasalum, I want to allow Serekunda, I want to allow Kantora, and where will we go to? Please, let us not complicate issues.
It's just point of observation.
Honorable Speaker, there is a motion.
There is a motion that should be seconded.
The motion needs to be
seconded, yes.
The motion is not seconded.
The motion is not.
It's wrong.
There is a motion on the floor on the 53K motion without notice for the, can you repeat your motion?
Yes, I'm moving a motion on the 53K. To refer the confirmation to the committee to further scrutinize the credentials.
I cannot deny him. It's a motion. Any seconder? Yes, Kantor.
Yes, I want to second the motion for the assembly to refer it back to the appointment committee to invite them in person to confirm those things. Thank you.
A motion has been moved. Now, if you don't agree, vote against it. A motion has been moved to refer under section 53K for the issue to be referred back to the committee for confirmation. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no.
No.
So let's...
The noes have it.
Now, let's vote. Those in favor for it to be referred to the committee. No, Honorable Serekunda, we need to, let's complete this exercise. Please.
Voting is electronic.
Those in favor for it to be referred back to the committee? Sorry, thank you. Those not in favor for it to be referred back to the committee? Those not in favor? Thank you. Honorable members, here are the results. 16 in favor of it, to be referred back to the committee and 6 against it. So majority will carry the vote. It is hereby referred to the committee for further consultation. Thank you very much. In which case there is no need to call the mover of the motion to respond. So, Honorable AG, thank you very much. Clerk, let's proceed with the next item on the agenda. Can we proceed?
Yes, thank you. Laying of papers and reports continues. Report of the Committee of Selection on the nomination of membership to the Gender Committee and the following parliamentary friendship groups. The list is as follows: the Gender Committee, A. B. The Gambia Kingdom of Morocco, C. The Gambia Senegal, D. The Gambia Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, E. The Gambia Republic of Serbia, and F. The Gambia Islamic Republic of Mauritania Parliamentary Friendship Groups by the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Combo South. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Honorable Member for Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I think the clerk has to announce everything again, because how the report was presented, the report how it is presented is different from the announcement that he made, so he needs to do it right. Because according to my list here, we are starting with the Mauritanian and then going through up to gender is the last one, and now he's starting with gender. So what do we do?
In fact, I was saying, when I got it, that I think we should even deal with the committee first, before coming into the friendship groups, instead of lumping all of them together. Deal with the committee, that is the gender committee, finish with the gender committee, and then we come to the groups, and then we can even take the groups one by one, instead of lumping them together.
Yeah, so let him start with investigation.
This is the one I have. I don't know. Honorable members, which one do you have? Maybe you. Clerk, can your assistants please help to check, to confirm?
Ma'am.
The one I have starts with the gender committee.
Mauritania.
That's all I have on my agenda. Anybody, something different?
Please, let's go ahead.
What the clerk has read is what I have on my documents, both the agenda and my brief. So I'm not sure what the mover has.
Honorable Speaker, there is a difference with the order paper and also the report. They are not in sequence. The report is saying we are starting with the Gambia-Mauritania friendship, not the gender one. So that's the problem. Yes. Yes. Gender, on this one, gender is the last one.
But we have an agenda that has been approved. Yes. So we go by the agenda. Maybe the writer of the report did not have a look at the agenda. Probably.
Okay.
But I'm sure you can just adapt it or adjust it accordingly. Should be able to do that. Alternatively, if you want a 10 or 15-minute break to sort yourself out and we come back. Look, it's not for Cantora to decide. Neither is it for me. Exactly. It is for nobody to decide no or yes. I think we're taking too many things for granted now.
Let's start with the gender committee as per the order paper of the day. Yeah, okay. Honorable members, report of the Committee of Selection on the nomination of members to the Gender Committee and various parliamentary friendship groups, 24 June 2021. The Selection Committee met to consider nominations to the Gender Committee and various parliamentary friendship groups established by the Assembly. The nominations were done in accordance with Standing Orders 96-2 of the National Assembly. It would be recalled that the Gender Committee and parliamentary friendship groups were established by motions adopted by this August Assembly. Thus, the respective motions provided for the Committee of Selection to proceed as per Standing Order 96-2 and make the nominations thereto. The methodology used. The committee gave due consideration to the following while making nominations as required under Standing Order 96-3. Balance of party, membership to other friendship groups and committees, and gender. Most importantly, consideration was also given to honorable members who belong to very few committees. The Office of the Clerk also provided the necessary guidelines through the process. Having considered the nominations based on the above, the committee resolved and proposed as follows. We're starting with the one for the Gender Committee. That's 6 on the report. Gender Committee comprises of 1 Honorable Fatoumata Njai, Honorable Kadi Kamara, Honorable Fatou K. Jawara, Honorable Yakumba Jete, Honorable Deyasin Seka, Honorable Alajimbo, Honorable Amadou Kamara, Honorable Suleiman Saho, Honorable Usman Toure, Honorable Umar Sise, Honorable Suaib Toure, and Honorable Bram J.S. Sow. The proposed nominations to the Gender Committee and the above-named parliamentarian friendship groups are hereby laid before this Honorable Assembly for consideration and approval as per the Standing Orders 111-2.
I thought we were dealing with the Gender Committee first.
Yes.
Yeah, we're dealing with the Gender Committee
that's
first.
That's why I read the list, so we are going to deal with that one first.
Yes, please. We're dealing with the Gender Committee first. That has been laid. Now, any second?
Point of correction first, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member said the proposed nominations of the Gender Committee and the above-named parliamentary groups. It should stop at the Gender Committee because that is what we are considering now.
That's why I said we're dealing with the Gender Committee and not the other parliamentary friendship groups. We're starting with the Gender Committee. Yes, seconder. Yes, Honorable Member for Banjul South. Cantora, I will reprimand you for.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion. Thank you. And also, Madam Speaker, on top of seconding the motion, I also beg this August Assembly, based on Section 53K, to grant leave to the newly established committee to meet as soon as possible to establish their bureau. Thank you.
Honorable, I don't see any urgency in that as of now. You have your committee, it's for you to meet and decide on what to do. It has been moved, no, please. It has been moved and seconded that, where did I, sorry. Okay, thank you. It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the report of the Committee on Selection on the nomination of membership to the Gender Committee. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Now, any honorable member who wishes to take part in the debate on the selection of that committee may do so now. Please raise your tags. Yes, Jara is, please, can you take down? Jara is, I'll start with Jara.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I rise to contribute my quota on the report of the Committee of Selection of the nomination of membership to the Gender Committee and various parliamentary friendship groups.
Dealing with the Gender Committee.
All right, Gender Committee. To be specific, Gender Committee. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I have serious reservations. This report is full of anomalies, and I'll refer you to the anomalies. Honorable Speaker, let's go to the Gender Committee, the composition. Excuse me, let me refer you to the methodology adopted by the committee first. It reads, the committee gave the consideration to the following while making nominations as required under Standing Order 96.3. 1. Balance of parties. Balance of party, I repeat. Yes. No, it says party. Okay. Balance of parties. You have 1, Honorable Fatou Njai. 2, Honorable Kadi Kamara. 3, Honorable Fatou K. Jawara. 4, Honorable Yapumba Jaide. 5, Honorable Ndeye Yasin Seka. 6, Honorable Alajimbo. 7, Honorable Amadou Kamara. 8, Honorable Suleiman Sao. 9, Honorable Usman Toure. 10, Honorable Umar Sise. 11, Honorable Shoaib Toure. And 12, Honorable Birom J.S. So. When it comes to the issue of balance of parties, the committee is in breach of that. We have Honorable Alajimbo, NRP, Honorable Usman Toure, NRP, Honorable Amadou Kamara, NRP. So I want the mover to give us, a very good explanation as why they are in contravention. Honorable Speaker, that was my intervention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure the mover has taken note of that. Honorable Member for Serekunda.
It's all right, Honorable Speaker, I have withdrawn. I have withdrawn,
Kantora.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. But wouldn't it be proper for us to take them together, it will be one debate, once and for all, at least to, I'm just saying my observation, you're the chair, for us to take it together, because these are all similar procedures, similar appointments, so that if we have an issue in X and Y, you can just touch it once and then finish the debate, rather than dealing with it in sequential. That is just a proposal, anyway. However, yeah. Can you allow me to talk?
Observation. Part of our rules indicate that we should not be interrupting when somebody is on his or her feet. Please let us respect the rules. Allow them. Then when we are done, when he is done, somebody else can take it up. Can I observe? No, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I also have a serious observation to make, not limited to only the Gender Committee as well. I know.
We are dealing with the Gender Committee.
I agree.
Make your observations on the Gender Committee. Those are, the others are friendship groups.
Okay.
The others are friendship groups.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Okay, as alluded by previous speakers, the mover did indicate that the committee took some measures in arriving at these proposals, such as membership to friendship groups and committees. Now, if you peruse through the document, there are names that are factored here. You can see them in various committees
of this National Assembly. They are also part and parcel of several friendship groups. So I don't know which methodology do they use to arrive at that. For instance now, you have there's a member here who belongs to 4 different committees. And belong to, as I'm speaking to you, he belonged to extra 2 friendship groups that are not yet treated, waiting to be treated. So the issue of we made emphasis on membership of committees and membership of friendship group is not realistic. However, I want the committee to have a relook at these proposals, relook on the membership of the committees, relook on the membership of friendship groups, and relook on the political party representation. And there is no evenness. So that is my take in that. When we go to the other committees, there are even more serious observations to make, because I'm surprised. We've seen the first list, all of a sudden again it changes again. We've seen some names catapult to another committee again. We want to know why. So as a matter of fact, you know, they have to explain to this assembly. So therefore, Speaker, some of us are punished not to be included in some of these committees. But of course, we respect the issue. But there has to be sanity in the process. So therefore, you know, before giving us the blessing to this particular committee, there has to be a relook. The methodology they said, that is the party representation, the committees, and also the membership of friendship groups.
Will help the mover and also the committee in arriving at a just decision if you specify.
Let me give my nomination now. Okay, I'm giving proposals and nominations of names that should be listed here and names that should be kicked out from this particular group. 1, I am moving a motion to that effect to bring a new proposal for him to take from their end and remove some names here. I want to nominate this man, Honorable.
Here, okay. You said you are moving a motion.
Yes.
Yes, for?
Delete some members here. Yes.
Do you have a right to do that?
It's no motion.
Do you have a right to do that?
Your recommendation?
Yes. No, we can debate. I know that you can debate, but to move a motion to delete A, B, and C and replace it by C, D, and E.
Yes, that's the beauty here.
I stand to be corrected, but I don't think you have that authority.
No. I want to raise a point of order.
Others will make their intervention, and then we will look at it together.
Yeah, what I'm saying, the beauty of it coming to the plenary here is to make final decision. What we agree or what we don't agree, and these changes are not final. The final say is here, and we have the right to make proposals. That's my position. Thank you.
Point of order. Point of order. Point of order. Point of order. This Basi.
Say.
I'm rising on a point of order. Clause 32B. 32(1)B, which reads, no member except Standing Order 32(1)B. Madam Speaker, no member except the Speaker shall interrupt another member except B to elucidate on a point of clarification some matter raised by another member in the course of his or her speech, provided that the member speaking is willing to give way and resume his or her seat. The member has already done that. So I'm asking the member If he said a particular person is on the list and you don't name the person, definitely you are not helping the committee, to do their work properly. If you know the person, I'm calling on the member to give the name of the person of his observation, so that if we have to reconsider, we have that person in mind and we put that into consideration. Thank you very much.
Point of observation.
I don't know whether you have quoted the relevant section, because the section that you have quoted talks of permissible interruptions. Like, for example, somebody is on his feet and you want to interrupt, you seek his or her permission to clarify, elucidate on a point of clarification. Then he can do that. But I think you're quoting the wrong section.
I don't quote the wrong section. Madam, you are not looking at me. Since the member was on his feet, I was raising my tag to raise this point of order. Because while the member was giving his submission, that's the time I want to make this point of order, to look for a clarification from the member. The person you are talking about, who is that person? That we are looking for. But if you are not looking at me, you cannot see me. Yes, the person has resumed.
Honorable members, I just want to tell you, some of us are not fair. You are looking at me. You can have access to the chair at any time. But the chair has to look at 52 or 53 times 2. So how is it? But I did raise the point. Bear with me. I did raise the point that that the member was not helping the mover, neither is he helping the assembly to arrive at something that is reasonable. Let him refer to specifics. I did mention that. Even without knowing that that's what we were coming up with. I did mention that. So let us be fair. Don't always accuse the chair. I don't. There's no reason for me.
Observation, please.
I'm not taking any sides with anybody for that matter. I just try to make sure that I guide the proceedings so that we do the right thing. Honestly, let's.
Can I make an observation?
Make my proposals. The names.
Proposal?
Yes.
Because of your intervention, you can make your proposal.
Honorable Sabi Ture should not be here. Honorable Tumanjai, Yakumba Jaite, and
observation.
Point of order. Yes, these people.
Observation, please.
Point of order. Yes, point of order.
Observation.
Point of order.
This is wrong.
So, So,
if he so wishes, he can. Yes, go ahead.
So, Honorable Tumanjai, Honorable Yakumba Jaite.
He wants to raise a point of observation, and I am saying that if you so wish to give him the right, it's good to allow him to make the observation, then he can go ahead. Otherwise,
I just want to explain the process, to give my submission, and then he can observe. But at least let me have the assembly. No, I'm just giving the names now, the names only. So, mover.
You would have completed your submission.
Yes.
Now, in the process of your submission, somebody wants to make an observation and is asking for your permission. So I said, it's for you to grant the permission or not.
Madam Speaker, I think we are compounding our problem. If we concentrate mainly on gender committee and leave the other committees, we are creating problem because there is going to be cross-referencing. People will be referring to this committee compared to that committee because somebody may be in committee A would be in committee B. So if you deal with only committee A, you are making a problem because when you come to deal with committee B, you'll be referring again to committee A. So So let's deal with all the committees at the same time so that cross-referencing will become a simple matter.
Madam Speaker, observation. Observation, Madam Speaker. Observation, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kantora was on his feet when Honorable Woolley West wanted to make an observation and he was granted permission. Now, if you want to make an observation, somebody is still on his feet. You seek permission from...
Thank you. I didn't grant it. I didn't grant anything. Let's proceed. So, mover, take these names.
It's not a motion. I cannot move a motion. But I have a proposal. And my observation is that there are going to be even more contentious issues coming up with the friendship groups. Now, there is a table showing all the honorable members and their membership in all the various committees and, what do you call it, the friendship groups and the international organizations that each and every one belong to. I'm just thinking aloud that maybe it may help if that is distributed. And everyone can have a look at it and see how this list probably was arrived at. So that next time we come, probably it will expedite the process. It's just something that was done, and I think it may be helpful. So it's just a proposal, as I said. It's not a motion. It is unless somebody wants to move a motion that the documents that are in the possession of the office of the clerk be distributed so that everybody will have a look at it. Then you will see whether there is justification or not.
I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to quickly move a motion because as the way I observe the members of parliament, of course, are foreseen a very contentious debate on various issues. To guide us properly, I would want to move a motion on the 53K without notice that we suspend this process and ask the clerk to give members, everybody, a copy of the members of the committee so that we can peruse through and make our analysis and agree to this proposal. If that is agreed. Thank you.
Speaker, thank you for the
opportunity. Can we hear from everybody? That's better.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. I raise a second motion.
You are suspending
the motion has been moved and seconded that we suspend this issue and ask the office of the clerk to provide each and every honorable member with the list. I think it's a table or a list comprising the membership of each group, each committee, and not only friendship group, but international organization that every honorable member is a member of. So it will give them an idea how the committee arrived at this, what is it called? These proposals. Honorable member, please, the session is still on. Kansala. Please, those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no.
No.
So we proceed.
No, sir. Yeah, we continue.
Let's proceed.
We already have the list.
The motion is for this, what do you call this? For the proceedings to be suspended pending the circulation of the document by the office of the clerk. No, it's not for you. We are voting. If you don't agree, we will proceed. Those in favor, please raise your tags. Please raise your tags. Those in favor of the suspension, please raise your tags. If you want it referred for the office of the clerk to provide the document. Please count properly. Please, those in favor. Start from here to there. Members, if we are not serious, then I will just suspend the sitting and then we know what to do. No, let's be serious. I mean, this is a very serious matter. We're dealing with groups.
Madam Speaker, someone is raising my tag. I'm not raising it.
Please, can you resume your seat? Honorable Banjul Sir, please order, decorum.
Madam Speaker, I want to observe, please.
No.
Someone is raising my tag, Madam Speaker.
I am not taking observation. We are voting.
You cannot count me. Someone is raising my tag, not myself.
We are voting. Those in favor, please raise your tags for the last time. For the last time, please raise your tags for the last time.
I said the voting is not fair. Someone is raising my tag.
Honorable Nadikunda, please can you take your seat, resume your seat?
Madam Speaker, you cannot proceed. Someone is raising my tag.
Somebody is raising his tag. Honorable Nadikunda Sabiji, somebody please take your seat.
Somebody is raising his tag.
You see, I mean, honorable members, please, let us be responsible. You cannot use somebody else's tag. It's not fair. It's unparliamentary. Don't do that.
Madam Speaker, I'm not using anybody's
tag. No, but you raised his tag.
But he took my tag and put it on the floor there.
Well,
you don't see him doing that.
Please, decorum and order. Those in favor, please raise your tags. I mean, Terra Central, I don't take kindly to that, please.
No, I have only one card.
Thank you. 8. Those not in favor, please raise your tags. Not in favor. Thank you very much. Then we proceed. 14 in favor, 18 against. So we will proceed. Thank you. Cantora, your intervention.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. So I have made my observations. I gave the names to the mover to relook on these names, to maintain the camera there, but to remove Tumanjai, Yakubajaite, Swabuture. Okay, Fatuma Danjai, and yes, Osman Ture as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Fonyi Bintankaranlai, you are next on my list.
Yes, Madam Speaker, thank you. I'll be very brief. Madam Speaker, I concur with member for Jara West. Because when you look at the list, Jara is sorry. When you look at the list, you look at, and going to the body methodology, they say parties. You can see NRP has 3 members in this. And NRP is not the majority party here. So I would want the committee to go and look at this properly. I don't know whether it's because of the minority is within the selection committee, or I don't know.
Honorable Speaker,
I am sure the mover has taken note.
Point of order. The member has to withdraw that statement.
The
member has to withdraw that statement. Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I believe the selection committee has adopted a different approach or methodology to what they report to us. Because they were looking at the gender committee together with the friendship groups, forgetting that the gender committee is a committee, while friendship groups are friendship groups. They are not the same. So if they want to adopt the same criteria for the gender committee, it is going to be problematic. I believe that the idea of selecting these people in the gender committee is one of, for example, if we look at it, is they want all the women of the parliament to be in the gender committee. And the other criteria, I believe, was they were thinking of passion. Those who have passion for gender issues in this parliament, they were thinking of that. But all the same, I'm expressing my opinion. All the same, I was thinking that his suggestion that my name be removed from there, but I'm also suggesting that yes, my name can be removed from there, but the chairperson of the health, gender, etc., should replace my name in this gender committee. That's what I was thinking, because he was the chair. So if you create a gender committee, now the gender committee is going to be on his soil and the health committees. So I think he should, by experience from the period, can also be in the gender committee. That is my suggestion. Thank you.
Name to be deleted and substituted for the chairperson of the committee. Thank you. Okay.
Point of observation.
Thank you very much.
Point of observation.
Foley Kansala.
Observation, Madam Speaker.
Observation from
I'm observing you. You.
No, I'm not going to allow any observation.
No, Madam Speaker.
I will not, because you know, you were very shrewd waiting for the for the honorable member to be seated, and then you want to push it onto the chair to allow it. No, I won't allow it. Honorable member for Foni, is it Foni B? Foni Kansala, yes, Kansala.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would have supported the motion moved by the honorable member for Kantora had Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as highlighted by the honorable member for Jara East, I think it's important for us to allow the Committee of Selection to revisit the methodology they highlighted as what was applied in identifying who becomes a member of the Gender Committee. And I will not take much long. I would also endorse the proposal by the member of Woolly East, and that is he is willing to be substituted by the honorable member for Banjul North. This is somebody I've worked with, and this particular committee that is about to be initiated, the ministry was under the purview of the Committee of Health. And I have been a principal witness of how he has been handling affairs as the chairperson of that particular committee. Now that the committee is to be divorced, I believe with the experience and the passion that he has, he fully fits to be part of this particular committee. I definitely want to endorse the recommendation of the member for Woolly East. That being said, I want the Office of the Clerk to help the Committee of Selection with the list. That list is very important. Once they have it, they will be able to make reference. So I want to suggest that instead of the continuation of the debate on this particular committee, we suspend this debate, move a motion to allow the Committee of Selection to go back, revisit the selection criteria. By then they would have been equipped with all the relevant information. Then they can come up with an informed decision as per who falls part of this particular committee. Honorable Speaker, if I'm given the permission, I want to go further to move a motion without notice. Standing order 53K. Yes, you either support it or you kick it out. I don't mind. I rise on.
In fact, they are not presiding. So just ignore their comments.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you. decorum, then you'll be given the opportunity to express yourself. Honorable Speaker, I rise on the Standing Order 53K to move a motion without notice. That is, allow the Committee of Selection to go back and revisit the selection of the Gender Committee and hopefully report back to plenary by Monday. That's the motion.
That is your motion, Honorable Member, with all due respect. But a motion has just been passed. So probably what you need to do is, if you think that you'll be supported by your honorable colleagues, then you will rescind. That decision has to be rescinded because it's already approved, passed. First of no. It has been passed. No. It was not a different motion. It's the same motion. It's the same motion. It's the same motion. Unless you move a motion to rescind that decision. Otherwise, yes, you can.
Honorable Speaker, the motion that was moved by the honorable member for Kantora is for the office of the class to avail all the National Assembly members with the list, and then we can now guide the Committee of Selection. And my motion is for that list to be given to the Committee of Selection to make reference and be informed accordingly to come up with the set criteria of who is to be on board this committee. It's a different motion.
Call it a very subtle distinction. Very subtle. All I just wish to tell you is that I am sure the Committee of Selection has that table with them. Probably it's something that they were using to guide them. Base, let me.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I rise to second the motion moved by the member for Fonyi Councillor.
Not asked for secondment yet. No, let me allow, if you are seconding the motion, I said I will allow honorable member for Basse and then I will come back to your motion. So if you want to second it, just give us a few seconds and we'll come back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. If we just listen to each other, we will get there. Yes, Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think the mistake is in the report. Because as a member of the selection committee, when we met, we deliberately said that we were not going to look at, if you recall, as the chair of the committee, we mentioned that we were not going to look at balance of party. We all agreed. We were going to look at people because it was pegged at 7. And then recommendations were made that we will add male members that were passionate about gender issues and are already working on it. So the report here says that the methodology used was balance of party, members to other friendship groups and committees, and gender. I think we should revisit this report and amend it, not adopt it as it is, because it is not correct. That is why we have this main contentious issue, because we did not base it on party. Thank you.
Yes, Speaker, I just want to say, if we hear from a broad section of the district before we tell them to go and look at it, let's hear from the rest and see what people are saying. Maybe some people don't even want to be there, or maybe they have better propositions.
Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Speaker, I think I want to make this special appeal to the honorable members. This is not the first time we have been looking at composition of committees and friendship group. I think let us be hard. At the end of the day, we can reach a compromise rather than passing up a motion. The motion that was passed and your motion, babula julola julobulaba. There's no difference. You understand? So if you bring up another motion, the way I'm understanding, this is what I'm saying. To me, they are very similar. Do you understand? So if you want to bring that motion again, we are going back. And time, the parliament doesn't have time. When shall they come back again? Let's look at it and come to consensus.
Well, actually, Honorable Speaker, the members want to be guided by the methodology of the committee on the basis of their selection. And having seen that members of the belief the selection is not in conformity with the methodology. And that's where the committee should be guided. To properly guide the committee on that basis, there is a need for the committee to take note of that observation and then correct it. Perhaps on the basis of which the Honorable Member for Kantora suggested for the report to be given back to the committee, and then on top of that, for the office of the clerk to make available the copy of the list of the members in the various committees and in various friendship groups. In my view, the difference of that motion and that of the Honorable Member for Councillor is the method of referring to the committee. For the committee to be availed the list to the committee, that's what the Honorable Member for Councillor is saying. But for what the Honorable Member for Kantora is saying, for the entire members to be available, the list, I think it's the same. Let's just see how best to reconcile the two, so that the committee can have the opportunity to do exactly what the members want. To better do that is for the Honorable Member for Councillor to call for rescinding the earlier decision, and then on top of that, just amend the earlier motion the way we want to fine-tune it, and then we do it that way. Otherwise, only this particular committee will take us almost the whole day, let alone the remaining committees. Based on the circumstances and the controversies that we feel we are guided by the methodology, there will be no headway if we want to live the way it is. Honorable Councillor, amend request for rescinding of the earlier motion. We amend it and then refer it to the committee. Let the entire members be available, the list to be guiding us, so that we know whether actually the balance or the methodology, whether it's applying or not, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, earlier on, a member of the selection committee has just made an objection to what is reported in the methodology and what inspired in the selection, what is reported in the selection. So I am moving a motion on standing order 53K. If we can suspend the gender committee and deal with the parliamentary friendship group, then later the committee can come up with another selection mechanism.
Okay, I know. Yes, Abasano.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think today we are really deviating from parliamentary procedures. In fact, I tried to get something from the standing orders, yeah, but I couldn't. But Honorable Speaker, I have never seen any parliament where a report has been laid and you want to debate a partial or a part of the report and leave in the rest of the report. I've never seen that. And again, if you look at the heading of the report by the mover, it says a report of the Committee of Selection on the nomination of membership to the Gender Committee and various parliamentary groups. This is a whole report. So if you want to depend on a particular portion of the report, it doesn't tell well, and we're going to waste our time. Because what happened is one part of the report is linked to another part. If you see why on the Gender Committee there are 12, and these names are here, because these names may not have appeared on another area. I think we are doing something very wrong.
Speaker.
We need to fix that, yeah.
With all due respect, again, if I were to table the report, I definitely would not lump the Gender Committee with the friendship groups. I would definitely have drawn up a separate report for the Gender Committee and the friendship groups. Because those are just parliamentary friendship groups. So it's a little bit confusing. I don't know, but we really need to agree so that we can move forward. Whether under the circumstances to adjourn everything. And I don't want to impose anything. It's enough for me to say do X, Y, and Z. The proposal will have to come from National Assembly members. They agree on what is to be done. I put it to a vote, and we move ahead.
Madam Speaker,
But there are two motions already pending. Woolly West, what do you say?
Honorable Speaker, there is already a motion
Woolly West. Please, Woolly West.
Honorable Speaker, you already have a motion on the floor.
That I think anybody who wants to take the floor will be given a floor.
Honorable Speaker,
yes.
there is already a motion on the floor. There's already a motion.
There's a motion there, there's a motion there. Please. We will deal with the motions.
Madam Speaker, it appears that we are in a catch-22 situation, and to get out of it, I would propose that I would move that we rescind the decision to reject Honorable Tunkara's motion. To rescind the decision of rejecting Honorable Tunkara's motion.
I can't understand, because I did indicate, go through the records, that when he moved the motion, that we have to rescind that decision first.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's
well,
what I'm saying.
There is a motion to rescind the earlier decision.
To enable him to marry his motion and that one.
And merge it together.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So if anybody
can I hear your motion from Fonyi Kansala? But we need to rescind. As I said, your motion is closely tied to the previous one. So let us rescind that one. Or move for it to be rescinded, and then we proceed subsequently. You can, how would I even call it, merge or do a Fonyi Kansala, please, can you go ahead?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move a motion under section clause 53K, that is to rescind the earlier motion moved by the Honorable Member for Kantora, and then go further. Yes, and then go further to move a motion for the Assembly to allow the Committee of Selection go back, be provided by all the relevant documents, and then reconsider the selection of the Gender Committee, meaning the business on the Gender Committee be suspended until the Committee of Selection come up with a final list where they will indicate the methodology and strategies used to identify members of the Gender Committee.
Yes, Banjul sir.
Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion, mostly based on the fact that the report itself is not correct. Thank you.
It has been moved, honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the earlier decision be rescinded, and a motion was also moved and seconded for the referral, for the suspension of this meeting and a referral to the committee, the selection committee and the office of the clerk to work together. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no.
No.
Good. So the motion is carried. Thank you. Rescinded and so now means that we're going to refer it back to the committee, and the office of the clerk will also work with the committee to come up with something else. Now we're done with that, honorable member for Basse. So now we are proceeding with the friendship. Are we proceeding, please, with the friendship groups? But you need also you need to appreciate the fact that this was a single report as pointed out by the honorable member for Upper Salum. This is a report. This is a report comprising of the gender. Unless we listen to the chair, we will not make any headway. We have to also be guided by principles, parliamentary principles. This is a report. Maybe, I don't know. For me, the way the report was prepared, I probably have some reservations on it. And that was why I said the gender committee ought to have been separated from the friendship groups. They should have been separated. But you lump the gender committee, which is a committee and a friendship group, and probably different criteria might have been used for the selection. So really, I don't know whether it's a totality to just withdraw the report and come back again. But that is for the mover. Let's think about that. Withdraw the whole report and come back again with a better report.
Honorable Speaker, can I move a motion now? Under the circumstances, I want to propose that according to Standing Order 53K to withdraw this motion for review and report back to plenary.
I second.
You are right to second the motion.
Sorry, withdrawn, and for them to, Honorable Member for Talinding, the session is still on, please. Honorable Member for Talinding. Pardon? But at least you ask for permission before you leave. Yes, the people, honorable members, right. They always send a note. I mean, let's be parliamentary. Sorry. It has been moved. It has been moved and seconded that the report be withdrawn and they will subsequently come back to the plenary, pending internal consultations. Thank you very much. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Just honorable members, I don't know, the next bill on the next items on the agenda is for the third reading of two bills. But the Honorable Attorney General was here with us the whole day, but he just had an emergency. He just stepped out. I don't know whether we can adjourn for lunch and come back and complete the third reading of the two bills. We do that? Yes. So we suspend the sitting for about half an hour. We come back at 3:15. We come back at 3:15. So the sitting is suspended for 45 minutes, and we resume at 3:15 to continue with the bills. Thank you very much.